And Grumgur's Tavern is open for episode 7 of the party's endeavors. Last session, the party was investigating the mansion in Landrasil a little bit closer as Elrid walked into what looked like a storeroom. Couple minutes later, he feels this very sharp object at his neck, but doesn't feel or see anything around him. He attempts to throw the individual across the room as the individual speaks to him and says, "Don't move or I'll slit your throat." In this commotion, Anna rushes over as the entire room goes silent. After a back and forth match of Elrid against Box, destroying a good portion of what was in that room in complete and utter silence, the spell drops as Neptune hears Elrid screaming bloody murder in the next room over and decides to make his way over, where they encountered a very dark, fully covered individual dressed in all black, whose name is Jacob. After a little back and forth, they decided to go ahead and just team up for the time being, knowing that their goals are very similar. After they kind of calm the situation and let Jacob know that Elrid was not a part of the Nine, which is the main reason Jacob attacked, because Elrid was wearing the cloak. They decided to make their way into the royal chambers of the mansion, where, after some investigation, Elrid picking up some torches on the wall that looked a little bit misaligned, and kind of taking a closer look at them, noticing that they're not actual flames, they're more magical in means. And Jacob, investigating some of the pillars, discovers that there are a couple holes where a couple torches would fit. So they took torches from the wall after Elrid mercilessly ripped them off, and then put them inside, one in each of the pillars, where a secret passageway opened up to the western side of the room. The tunnels themselves look to be very barren, mostly mossy covered brick walls. As they made their way what seemed like miles, after about an hour of traveling, they managed to hit the end of the line, so to speak, where they saw a engraving in the ground that looked very similar to the runes that were carved into the ground in the temple, or not the temple, but the base of the seventh. And skulls, bones, everything kind of piled in the corner with some blood pulled up in the center of this. After investigating that for about 15 minutes or so, they heard a couple of footsteps, about 3 pairs of footsteps, and waited for those individuals to make their way towards them. As they rounded the corner and made their way into the room, the party recognized 2 cultists, one much bigger than your typical cultist, seemed to be pretty shredded, standing about 6 feet tall, face kind of really sunken in though. And the other one, after landing a couple strikes on him, looked to be skeletal in nature. After they took care of the 2 cultists, the third individual that was following them appeared to be the gunsmith. They were on their way to sacrifice him to use the teleportation feature to what the party can only know as to the third's hideout. Possibly the main hideout, they're not quite sure. In an effort to save the gunsmith, they decided to make their way back out into the mansion royal chambers, where they were deciding whether or not they should continue investigating the mansion with the gunsmith or take him back to safety prior to handling Cidolfus. So, with that decision in mind, what would you guys like to do? You guys are currently in the royal chambers. To your left, you see the throne. You see the 2 pillars where Jacob had placed the torches in. to your right, you see the open door where you guys were initially came in.
This only looks relatively sketchy.
Well, we really only have one way to go.
Justin just scanning, keeping an ear out, eye out.
Give me a
Full
perception
alert
check.
dog. $17.
Okay. Anybody else looking, listening, watching?
Yeah, Elwood would
Jacob
be on
is.
full alert. Elwood
Okay.
would be on full alert, trying to keep an ear out for anybody that might be coming.
Perception checks.
Anna's is a 21.
Okay.
20.
20, 21, 17,
15.
15. And Neptune?
$19.
19. Okay, so as you guys are kind of looking around, just trying to listen in to see if there's any oddities from when you previously came through here. You all get the faint smell of what smells like something burning. It wasn't there the hour, well, it'd be 2 hours now, since going down into the passage there. And as you kind of stand around more and more, you start to see a light haze start to envelop in the room that you're standing in. And that smell starts to get much more prevalent. It kind of smells like the wood being burnt of, like a campfire, just on a much larger scale.
Can I tell where the smell's coming from exactly?
It's hard to pinpoint the smell as the you can kind of, looking a little bit closer, like as you move your hand, you can kind of see little wisp of smoke kind of move around your hand, and it's getting a little bit more difficult to breathe the longer you guys kind of stand here.
Leave. Something's burning, and it could fill up this whole area with smoke.
Looking around a little bit closer, as you kind of look out the doorway, you start to see the fire leaching into and over the middle rooms where the dining room and the kitchenette area were, as that entire hallway starts to engulf in flames. So, everything is starting to burn down.
What's the direction that there's no fire from, or we can tell the fire's not leaching in from? Arrow? You guys hear anything?
I can hear you, Joe, but I can't hear Daryl talking.
Mary?
Technical difficulties, just
Yeah. Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
the microphone came unplugged.
Okay, I edited it out.
Which
Probably
therefore-
there's a
Oh,
dog.
everyone else using real names.
Therefore killed my audio as well, since my headset's plugged in. So, what was the question prior to learning that the mansion is starting to basically burn to a crisp?
Do I see any possible exits where there's no fire? Or no signs of fire?
So, as you guys are kind of looking into the hallway, there's probably about a 50-foot gap between where you see the fire prevalent, which is right outside the doorway, where you can kind of go back the way you came, but you don't have any visibility to the right or left, so you don't know where the fire has started.
I want to go up to the doors that don't seem to have any fire and put my hand on them to feel if there's any warmth.
So, out in the hallway?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I assume you're kind of rushing to get over there.
Yes. Yes.
Oof. So, as you kind of run out the doorway and you look left, right, trying to discern which way the fire might be coming from, looking to both sides, it doesn't seem to be as much char or burning. It seems to be like it's coming directly from the other side of this wall, and it's making its way towards you. You do smell some kind of weird chemical as you are walking in. It almost smells like a natural gas, and it pooled up at your feet. You see this very light colored liquid kind of splashing as you are making your way through, and the fire seems to be following that trail
Nasty and say,
pretty
"Hey, Walker
quickly.
Man, can you make the fire go away?"
No.
Well, what
Sadly
good
not.
are you?
I can only do it so many times a day.
So, looking to your left and right, doesn't look to be much fire in those directions, and the trail of the liquid is leading more so into the royal chamber itself. So, is there a specific door you want to check? There are, from your standpoint, right at the exit of the royal chamber, you see the two doors on the left where you guys initially came in at the study. The one immediately to the left where you had the interaction with Jacob. On the right hand side, knowing the layout of the map, you see the essentially what would be the guest and servants' quarters. And the fire is spreading pretty quickly. As you were just kind of watching it, it's probably closing in a couple inches at a time.
Okay. Probably check. You said the servants' quarter didn't seem like it was on fire, or just as far as we can tell.
As far as you
Or
can tell,
leading that way.
it doesn't look like it.
Okay.
The fire doesn't seem to be spreading that way initially.
In the main chamber, the royal chamber,
Mhm.
was there any kind of windows?
There are like stained glass windows behind the chair.
Okay.
But it's not like naturally lit. It seems to be pretty dark, but you can notice that they are stained glass. So you don't know if there's anything actually behind them.
In Elred's eyes, this place is already fucked. So he's gonna break the glass.
Anything you're gonna throw or what? How you break the glass?
Sword, glass,
Sword.
hit, hard. Me smash.
Okay. So, as you are kind of hammering away at this stained glass, it seems to be pretty thick. It's probably 2-3 inches thick. First couple slashes seem to kind of cut it a little bit, but it's not actually shattering like you had hoped. The heat from the blade is kind of melting it a little bit, giving you a slight cut. But as you continue to hit, you're getting this very strong presence kind of pulling you, and you kind of see the flicker of light out of the side of your eye where Traston would be standing.
light.
Seems to
Look
be
over the-
emanating from Traston's bag.
Dresden, there's something in your
Yeah.
bag. It's glowing.
What? Hold on. Pull down my back and take a look. Do I
As
see
you
glow?
open up the bag, that gem that you found in the Nine Hells seems to be emanating a very deep red dark glow. as
Do I know
Elwood
what
is taking his
that helps
swings.
Does this mean, or is it?
It
Just
doesn't seem malicious just by looking at it. It's just emanating a very bright red. Yep.
Does Elwood notice that it would fit into a sword?
Looking at the size of it, fitting in Traston's hand, it looks about the same size of what would fit in your sword.
Traston, throw it here. Grab it. Put Jim in, or take Jim out. Put Jim in.
Okay. As you place that gem into the pommel, this bright, enveloping, almost rainbow light just starts to swirl around your convergence of the elements. Almost seems to grow in the slightest nature. Seems to be a little lighter though. But the gem now is filtering through the entire rainbow spectrum, flipping from red to orange to yellow to green to blue, indigo, purple, and just continues to cycle through. What would you like to do?
Taking our swing at it. At the window.
Okay. This time, as you take your swing, as the tip of the blade makes contact with this stained glass, the entire window erupts in what seems like a multitude of different elements and types as the entire window just bursts, explodes, almost similar to what a C4 charge would do, as it just shatters the entire window, raining glass on top of you.
Seems pretty effective. Do I see anything
I
past?
would say so.
Do I see anything past where the stained glass was?
Past the stained glass, you see the lights from the layer below in Landrasil. So you see the second layer. It's probably about 100-foot drop from where you guys currently are. And it's a straight fall.
Well, looks like that's not gonna work.
Don't we have the carpets?
We can try. Anna's gonna take the carpet out of her bag
Okay.
and see if she can get it to rise up where they're at over the ledge to see if it's gonna continue to work.
As you break the carpet out and you start to fly it out, or do you have the blacksmith with you?
Yes.
So with his weight, it will move at half speed. So it'll only move at about 15 feet. But as you make your way,
Mine's the little quick one.
yeah, it moves at, or wait, I'm sorry. Right. Half speed of 60, 30. So you move at 30 feet
Bingo.
as you make your way flying out this stained glass window.
It's like you're not trying to cut my movement speed more than in half.
The carpet does seem to stay in the air. Doesn't seem to have any problems floating out. Turning around and looking behind you, you see the inferno kind of coming up over the top of the mansion, as well as it's starting to leak in. It's probably about halfway through the royal chamber now.
Anna's going to kind of try to get everybody's attention and say, hurry up, get on the carpet now.
Jump on.
Jump
Close
on.
my eyes and grab the fabric as tight as I
No,
can.
you guys are going to have to get on your own carpet because I'm on the little one. You guys should have the medium one, and then Neptune should have the big one, right?
Correct.
Alright, pull off the carpet, and then look at Tristan. Tristan, let's get on. Let's go.
Yep,
Alrighty.
Neptune kind of whips his out as well. Kind of offers to Jacob to hurry up, hop on his carpet.
Jacob hops on.
As y'all kind of make your way out, almost at the nick of time, as Neptune's tassels on the back of his carpet kind of catch flames, and you can kind of see it looking behind you as he kind of leaves a little smoke trail following him. So, after about 5 minutes, you guys, not even 5 minutes, more like 2 minutes, you guys made pretty good distance, a couple hundred feet away, you just hear this very loud explosion as the entire mansion is just leveled and shrapnel is flying all across the city. Who is piloting the carpets? Obviously Neptune's piloting the large one.
I guess I'm piloting the one that we're on.
And then obviously I'm piloting mine.
Those of you piloting, give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no, I'm in danger.
Elred, you are within 10 feet of me.
17.
Oh.
Perfect. Give me. What I need to roll? Sorry, Mike. For just
Dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity
Dex
saving.
save, my good sir.
And since you're near me, it's what, +2?
+3.
+3.
Oh, plus me.
You're not that
Oh,
close.
it doesn't matter. Natural 20.
Okay.
So total 27.
Neptune's is good too.
24.
Yeah, that's actually what I just rolled for you as well. So.
That's
So,
funny.
as you guys are just kind of keeping a very close eye on the back, just making sure that nothing is flying towards you. Neptune having to make a quick dodge to his left to avoid a very large plank that seems to be burnt into a point as it just zooms by probably 150 miles an hour by the rate of the explosion in the distance. That's still moving pretty quickly. With Anna's quick carpet, so to speak, easily enough dodges some of the smaller shrapnel pieces that have kind of splintered off and made their way that far, and Elred just kind of move his neck, doesn't want to move the carpet, doesn't want to shake the baby, so to speak. So seems
Alright.
to have subsided. Nothing seems to be flying, but everything is definitely in disarray. You definitely see a bright orange glow coming from that location where the mansion was.
Okay, Anna is going to look around and see if she can try to figure out where they need to go next. She's gonna ask the blacksmith, which way was your shop?
Trying to remember the map coordinates. If we're over here, my shop is back there. As he kind of points around towards where the explosion happened, a little more eastward than that, kind of pointing at where the temple would be, or nearby that direction.
Okay, then she's gonna try to head that way.
Okay.
I'm assuming that you guys are following.
Yeah, I'll be following.
Okay.
Got nothing better to do. Place that we were going to infiltrate has been blown sky high, so.
So,
Yes, I say we take credit for that.
making your way in the general direction of where the temple would be. Just kind of keeping an eye on the ground as the sun starts to peek over into the eastern side. You start to see a lot of the shrapnel just covering the entire city, as there seems to be a few casualties just by pure glancing over. Looking at the streets, you see probably a dozen individuals who have been impaled by some sort of shrapnel, or just parts of the individuals who may have been too close to the blast at the time of detonation.
Is anything else on fire?
Nothing seems to be on fire. The explosion basically vacuumed up all the oxygen as it imploded outward and just sent everything flying. So nothing else seems to really be on fire.
Does everybody notice this?
Yeah, you all basically see the shrapnel just kind of strewn about the entire city. It does seem to be heavier in some of the other areas where the mansion had more real estate on one side where it just kind of exploded outward. But continuing, making your way towards the temple. As the blacksmith kind of looks down and he starts pointing in the general direction. It looks to be a couple blocks. You can actually see the temple from where you guys are at, where he's pointing. That's my shop there. Looks a little beat up, as you kind of see. It looks like a piece of the pillars that were in the royal chamber is just kind of set itself right in the center of his house. That might be a little dangerous, going in there. There's some more explodey stuff in there, if you catch my drift.
I'm sure it's fine. Just needs a little bit of refurbishment.
It does add a nice appeal to it. Makes it look a lot more
It's
modern.
rustic.
Yeah,
Are we close enough that you guys can talk?
I assume you all are just kind of keeping close to. I mean, you're all still within shouting
Rustic.
distance. Right. If you guys want to go down there, we can. Traston looking over at the temple. A couple of the pillars that were out in front kind of been shattered and knocked down. Just from, looks to be some impacts from some of the mansion residue. The temple itself still seems to be standing, but it's definitely seen better days. So,
For that to come back.
Well, do you guys want to split up? Me and the blacksmith can go to his shop, and you guys can go check out the temple. We meet back up here.
That's fine.
Yeah.
All right, then we're gonna split like a banana.
Did I learn anything about like trying to contact the Thieves Guild of the town?
no direct
When I was
contact as they attempt to be hidden. You do know how to get there, especially from where you're at.
Okay. I guess I'd check on the temple to make sure the kids were okay first, and then try to contact, if not, get a hold of the Thieves Guild to see what the hell happened.
Okay. So, Anna's going to the blacksmith. Neptune's going to the temple. I assume Jacob's going to the temple just because he's on Neptune's carpet.
Yes.
And Traston and Elrid, I assume you were going to check out the temple as well.
Yep, check on John.
John's not there.
Thought John was at the temple.
No.
Leo took John and Prim to Tokex.
That's right. That's right. Oh,
Yes.
Traston, where do you want to go? Looks like they're heading towards the temple.
Let's follow him down there. I'm gonna touch base and see if anybody needs anything.
All right. Start flying that way.
Okay. Being closer to the blacksmith's house. Anna, you land your carpet pretty close to the home. Everything seems to be pretty much in disarray. That's what you would expect. Shrapnel kind of sticking out everywhere. You have to be careful where you walk. But the only thing that seems really out of place is the roof, where that pillar has kind of made its new home. You just kind of see the blacksmith kind of open up the door, and going inside, it seems to have just barely missed everything, as it's just right in the center of his home. It may have crushed one of his tables, but everything else seems to be pretty much intact, as you kind of see him just very, very carefully open that door to make sure nothing gets triggered. I'm gonna need you to stay out here for a second, as he just kind of walks in, shuts the door, and spends about 10-15 minutes looking around in there, making sure nothing's spilt or there's no open flames or anything that may spark it. He comes back like, okay, just be careful walking in. There is a little mess, but it's mostly in the center of the house. And he kind of gestures you to walk in.
Anna's gonna follow him in, cautiously.
Okay.
And then she's gonna ask, so do you have any bullets or guns?
I don't have anything on hand. I can make some bullets pretty quick, but the firearm itself will take a little bit more time. A lot of more little moving parts and intricacies than I am comfortable with at such a short time frame.
Anna's gonna ask him about his family. Where were they supposed to be?
They were captured at about the same time I was. I haven't seen them in months. I don't even know if they're alive or dead. I had a little boy and a wife, but
What were their names?
yes, their names. It's been so
Yes.
long. It's hard
Yes,
to
their
remember.
names.
Hard
I
to
do
remember
need to
their
know their names. Also, while I'm thinking about it, what is the blacksmith's name?
Oh, what was his name?
This would be
Good
some
name for him
perfect
too.
time for some audience participation if anybody watching remembers.
His name was never given. That's the thing.
Alright, Anna's gonna ask what his name is, as well as his wife and sons.
My name is Ronald Bladewalker.
Okay.
My wife, Quinn.
Quinn.
Yes.
Okay, and your son?
William.
Ronald Bladewalker.
Yes.
Okay. I'll make you a deal. I will, because we have to go back to look for the dude that we have to kill. So I will make you a deal. If you start to make my gun, I will try to find your family and return them to you.
How long are you thinking this gun's gonna take?
I have no idea.
We're looking minimum a week, depending on how complicated you're looking.
She's gonna give him a general idea of what she wants, which I have already provided to you.
You have to provide it again.
Crap, I don't remember. Okay, so she's gonna explain it. There is lore of a bow that you don't need arrows for. As you pull the string back, an arrow forms and shoots forward. I want to try and make a gun with a similar design.
You just kind of see him look, and he just looks confused as to what you're asking. I've never heard of anything like that. I've
How
been
about
mostly
you just
sheltered.
How about you just handle the gun part and I'll handle the magic part at another time? Basically, what I want is something not huge. Maybe 2 guns that I can use, one in each hand, that has a very long clip that shoots very fast.
That'll break your hands. Or the gun. Heaven forbid.
Fine, a 2-handed gun, but that's not gigantic and that has a big clip and fires very fast. We could call it a Muzi, if you will.
I call it
don't-
automatic rifle 15. I'm not.
An B
An
41.
AARP. Got it.
BR.
A BS-48.
I can't promise I can do what you're asking.
How about you do the best of your ability?
Like a water gun.
Just don't hit me if it's not what you want.
Make sure you give
Definitely
me
not
enough
dragon.
bullets. If I can't bring your wife and son back, I will at least bring back information as to what happened to them, and then I will pay you for the gun.
Okay.
How much?
I don't know. Because what you're asking is... It's very unique. I don't know how much time it will take, and the labor cost could get extensive.
That's fine. I don't foresee us leaving here anytime soon, and if we do, we'll just come pick you up and take you with us so you can continue to work on it.
But that's what they were trying to do, and then they were going to sacrifice. Are you them?
No. I don't do sacrifices.
I don't believe you.
Well, don't you have any insight?
Apparently not.
As the royal princess of Krisana, I have no desire to sacrifice anyone. Goes against the fundamental beliefs of the teachings where I am from. The only people I raise my sword or my gun to are those that are already dead and have decided to come back.
You're a
Or those that
vampire
are
then. If you're
tyrants.
from there, everybody's a vampire up there.
No, I am a vampire hunter.
But still a vampire.
Would you like to see my teeth?
That's a
Also, it's
weird
broad
question.
daylight and I'm walking around. So
That's
I'm
broad.
gonna say
the sun's up. And I've heard stories that vampires can walk around in the day. At least some of them.
You need to stop watching the vampire journals.
The what?
Terrible book series. Anyways,
How do
No.
you watch a book?
shut up. I'm not a vampire.
He looks skeptical. But he goes
No.
along with it for now.
All I'm saying is, do you want to look at? Do you want to see my teeth as the equivalent to? Does it smell like chloroform?
You want to
No,
see what
she was gonna. Anna's gonna walk outside into the daylight and open her mouth so that he can see that she's not catching on fire and that she also does not have fangs.
Just then sparks fall and she ignites.
You're one of
They
them
do this forever.
special vampires. I see.
If I was a vampire, there's a pretty good chance that I would not have saved you. I would have just eaten you and then left your body there. Why would I go through the trouble of coming all the way back to your house and making sure you got here safely and promising to find your family?
Long-term blood supply?
That's not how vampires think. You obviously don't know anything about the creatures.
Smart
Special
ones do.
vampire.
Just make my gun.
I do my best. I'll make sure to put some wooden stakes in it in case you turn on me, and then I can use it.
Make it a silver.
Make it out of silver. That's a great idea.
Silver barrel wooden stake gun. Got it.
You can even douse it in holy water if you'd like.
I mean, let's be honest. It kind of sounds kind of cool.
The
This
silver would warp terribly.
It sure would.
Where'd the barrel go?
not if it's
It's a-
magic.
It's a tempered silver. I heated it. I
I
melted it.
hate
I heated
all
it. I
of you.
melted it. I heated it. I melted it.
You heated it and melted it.
Now it's
did.
got a permanent crick in
I
it.
don't think that's how silver works.
Shh, 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 shh.
Fine.
Yes,
Do we have a
yes.
deal?
I will work on your gun. Just don't suck my blood and don't eat me.
I'm not a vampire.
Oh.
What more do you want me to do? And she's gonna pull out the crucifix necklace that has the royal symbol on it.
Give me a dexterity check.
Looks like you're pulling out a knife. Just like, all right, I'm gonna show you.
That's
Ford.
a natural 20.
Okay. You do pull it out facing the right way. Had it been low, you would have pulled it up upside down.
Oh God, don't do
One way,
anything
there's no
religious
Jesus.
upside down. Heaven forbid.
Okay, that checks out for now. Kind of squints at you a little closer, just making sure you look
She's
rather
going
pale.
It's because there's no sun. That's why they like it there. You fucktard.
He's good
Whoa.
with guns. He's not good with things.
That's
He
the
has
equivalent
no
of like
people
I'm book
skills.
smart, but I have no common sense whatsoever.
It's not
Guns are
common
his
there.
thing. It's not.
All right, Anna's going to give him 500 gold as a deposit to know that she's serious about this gun and what she wants.
Oh, thank you. As he starts to turn over every piece to see if there's any blood on them.
It's gonna be a couple.
I'm really getting sick of you
He's like
people.
Grumgur. He's like Grumgur counting.
He's not even counting. He's literally just looking to
He's
see.
literally just inspecting it to make sure that there's no blood on it.
Shit.
That's the most ridiculous thing that I've ever heard.
He's been kidnapped once. He's paranoid. He does not want to get kidnapped again.
Keeping
Let
that in
alone by
mind,
a
Anna's
vampire.
going to be patient with him and just say, I will be back, and I will come in the middle of the day if possible, so that way you don't freak out and think that I want to suck your blood. Because, let's be honest, you look like you could use a bath. So even if I were a vampire, there's a pretty good chance I wouldn't want to put my mouth anywhere near your neck.
Prepare this dude's been with us for a minute. He just likes it. He likes it.
Okay, I'll see you later, Daypire. As he goes back into his house.
As he goes back into his house, you just hear Anna say, you need him to make your gun. You need him to make your gun. You cannot kill him because he's stupid. As she pulls out the carpet and gets back on it to head over to the temple.
It's a
Okay.
root fire.
Meanwhile,
Yes. Meanwhile, the four of you have landed in front of the temple. Immediately you notice there's a few pieces of shrapnel stuck in the roof, almost piercing this solid, what looks to be granite structure, as a couple of the columns up front have been knocked out and kind of crushed the staircase underneath them. Seems to be kind of blocking the staircase. You don't see anybody in the immediate vicinity.
okay. Start kind of looking around. Is there like, is it blocking? Is it completely like blocked off, or is there
You
a way
can climb
in or around?
over it, like it's just kind of stretched across the front long ways. It's parallel with the staircase. So, climbing over it isn't a big deal. The pillars weren't too wide, probably only like 5 feet or so you could pull yourself up and over pretty easily. It's not that difficult. So you're just investigating the inside or the outside?
I want to look around the outside first, see if there's like anybody trapped under something.
Okay.
Who's calling out? Hello.
Okay, give me a perception check.
Everybody all right? Okay.
Anybody else?
I'll just go inside and
17.
see what's going on.
I'll
Okay.
follow Elrid.
And Jakob.
Jakob reluctantly follows those two inside.
Okay. So, Traston
That-
kind of. Go ahead.
Does Elwood notice Jacob following behind him?
You get the sense that he's sticking pretty close, probably about 10 feet
You're-
away.
You're just gonna see him stop and just back up and just push him in front. I don't trust you behind me.
Beep, beep, beep.
The two assassins are following Elrid. He's probably panicking.
You're not long for this world.
He got me behind him and Jacob in front of him.
So, Jacob, are you doing anything in response to getting pushed in the front?
Pushed me.
He pushed you.
Elrid did.
Yes.
He did. I seen it.
I shoved you in front of me so that way I don't have to worry about you stabbing me in the back.
I'm gonna kick him from behind. Just kick my leg out backwards at him.
Okay, go ahead and give me an acrobatics check.
Oh, I'm good with that. Oh, a 26.
And Elrid, give me a perception check.
There is absolutely no point if you're doing perception. It'll never
So-
go that high.
There's always a chance.
As you shove him in front of you, you just feel something tug at the back of your ankle of your left foot as it's almost pulled completely out from underneath you, and you kind of stagger back a little bit and you kind of fall on your ass. Doesn't hurt, just a mild annoyance. And to you, mild is probably.
Considering Elrid in his head didn't even push him hard, just was shoving him in front so that he wasn't gonna stab him. He's gonna take great offense. Rage, punch, punch, punch.
Give me an unarmed attack while that's happening. Traston, as you're kind of shouting around, seeing if you can hear anything or anybody call for help, you hear Emery kind of shout back, Traston, is that you?
Snaps over. Yeah.
Yeah, we're inside. He's kind of shouting from the back, kind of where you guys escaped out previously to get into the sewer system.
Everybody
Doesn't
all
seem to
right
be-
in there?
Yes, we're all fine. Kind of scary as a few pieces of wood have kind of pierced through our ceiling. But nobody's harmed. Building has stayed strong, aside from the couple pillars out front, which are easily replaceable.
Good, good. I'll kind of start to climb up and over.
Okay.
Has Anna made it to the temple yet?
Nope.
It was a natural 20.
Okay. Roll damage on Jacob. E6 plus your strength mod.
Yeah. Okay. That's gonna be 11 plus, well, critical. So,
Yep.
22.
Okay. Unsuspecting, as you expected Elrid to be down for a long time, but the big angry man has jumped to his feet quicker than a cat and just fucking gives you the good old haymaker right to the chin as you are jettisoned forward. You've made it into the building. As you've taken 22 points of bludgeoning damage straight to the chin. Your face hurts. But you're in the building now.
Oof.
Oof.
You
Neptune just kind of watching out and like,
Elward just looks behind him, looks at Neptune. Would you like to go in front now?
No, you can keep going.
No, I insist.
But you're so strong, you threw him through the door. I can only imagine what you could do with other people.
I'm not gonna punch you. You didn't trick me.
I know.
as Neptune starts to reach his foot around.
Move on.
All right, roll again. Net 20. Here we come.
No, he's not reaching his foot around.
He's just gonna remember that he's solely angry at Jacob.
Move on.
Starts walking forward into the building.
Okay.
Did I hear John call your name? You might want to go inside.
John's not there.
John's not
I
here.
know.
John's not here, man. He's being a jerk. So,
Didn't know if Elred, being raged, would remember.
at the point
Can I have my
of
dice?
impact with Elrid's fist in Jacob's face, Anna, you see what is normally a flightless bird take flight and make his way into the doorway as the big angry man punched the big black shadow. You hear the thud, even 10 feet up, as he goes boof, boof, into the temple.
Anna's gonna land and look over at Elrid and go, "Do you have to be such a dick all the time?"
He started it. He tricked me. I was merely trying to get him in front of me so he didn't stab me.
After you pushed me.
I pushed
Ah,
him
so
forward.
you did start it.
I pushed him forward. He tripped me and knocked me on my ass.
Well,
Much
it's
different.
not his fault. You have so much ass that you bounced back up.
A lot of golden. All I'm
Come
saying
on,
is
children.
he didn't have to respond that way. I was merely returning the favor.
Come on, children. Stop fighting.
By this point, you've all have made it in, willingly or unwillingly, into the temple.
Unwillingly mean you were literally thrown into the building.
He bought a one-way ticket to Pound Town. So, you guys have all entered into the foyer of the temple. What would you guys like to do?
Assess the damage. See what's busted to shit. See how long it'll probably take to kind of set things right, do a cleanup.
You're assessing Jacob's face? It's pretty messed up.
He's looking
Damage
for
is
stuff.
extensive. You can't tell. But next to the burns, there's a bruise.
Oh, we are talking about Jacob's face. Okay.
But no. The temple to the damage was relatively minor. The only
The temple
damage,
to the damage?
the damage to the temple.
I was there when I was kidnapped.
The damage to
Oh,
the temple
kidnapped
is
from there.
fairly minor.
The
You
temple
do
is
see some of the shrapnel basically embedded into the ceiling. And outside you saw the two major columns just completely shattered. Otherwise, inside, it looks almost the way you guys left it. It may cause a few issues during the rainy season, so to speak, as there are now holes, but should be relatively minor fixes. And with the donation that Anna made previously, they're probably fine. Probably.
Anna's gonna look over at Traston and say, "Have you found Emery?"
He is right there.
You see him standing at the end of the hallway, near the back where he led you guys into the back where he was keeping care of the children who have been captured. Just kind of standing there with his hands inside his sleeves, crossed across his abdomen.
Emery, I'm looking for a child. His name would be William. Do you have a child named William here?
I do not. Do you happen to know what race or anything along those lines?
He was the blacksmith's son.
That doesn't help me.
That's all the information I have. Could I get a good look at the blacksmith to discern what type of creature he was?
He was a very malnourished human.
He should be a human child.
I do not have anyone named William, at least in this moment.
If you find one with a mother named Quinn, let me know.
If I find them, yes, I will. I will keep Traston posted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, I guess I'd be like, try to get on top of the, like, get a better view and see how the city's going.
With the sun and the thing and stuff and the thing,
Like,
so
what
in order
chaos
for
is
you,
raining right now?
in order for you to get to the roof, you would need to walk outside, and where the sun is, you would have to walk around to the back of the building, hop up on a box on the back wall, and then shadow step up to the rooftop.
Or just get on the carpet.
Or the carpet.
I jump on the carpet to get a better look at the city.
Okay. As you
But
hop up
first
on
I
the
do
carpet-
all that monk stuff first, and then I hop on the carpet to get a better view.
So completely useless thing, and then into the relevant thing. Got it. You start to ascend on the carpet. You get about 200 feet up. Gives you a decent look at the city. You definitely see lots of shrapnel scattered across the entire city. The part that was probably hit the hardest is the second floor on the western side. The fire was kind of started what looked to be center mass of the mansion, but kind of leaned more to the east, and the explosion kind of jettisoned most of the debris off to the west. From your viewpoint, you actually see probably about 10 to 15 homes or businesses that were just completely demolished. Just completely leveled. The side where you guys are is relatively intact. Very minor debris, at least in isolated locations. Nothing
Does
seems
it
to be
look
burning. You
like-
see no smoke. It's just a bomb went off.
Does it look like it was centered in the middle of the palace that we were in?
Based
or
off
does it
of
look
how
like
the debris,
it was on one side?
based off how the debris flew, it was more so in the eastern area, kind of almost directly in front where the dining area would have been is probably where the explosion originated, or slightly further back.
Does it seem magical or non-magical?
Hard to tell. Everything's exploded.
Okay, just wondering.
Yeah, you're not close enough to determine if there was any kind of chemical reaction or magic at play.
Alright. But the whole town is pretty much in chaos over there.
If not in chaos,
They're
dead.
screaming.
Those who are alive are screaming, but it's very faint. You're probably a mile or two
So-
away from it.
Hearing guard-wise, they're not really nearby us.
You're talking just the city guard.
Mm-hmm.
Just from a quick glance, just looking down at the streets, you don't see any armored individuals. The people who are all kind of scattering across the city seem to be people in very poor clothing, just basic cloth clothing. But you don't see any
No
armored individual.
Any guards. Nothing going weird with the castle, I guess we were in.
Castle's gone.
That's
Like it was
Just
completely exploded. Like you see the smoke
Alright.
cloud from that, but that's it.
All right, I go back down and kind of give a damage report.
Okay.
My findings. So
During the time Neptune is in the sky, Elred, Treston, Jacob, Anna. Anything you want to do in the temple? Or are you just kind of chilling out?
Anna's gonna ask Emery if he knows of anywhere that they might be keeping children or prisoners.
And
Chances are, if I don't have them here, they've been moved to another location. Those that show any kind of promise, especially at a young age, they can kind of persuade and brainwash them into doing their bidding, so to speak. I've taken in the ones that I have found, or that had no promise, which is I have a good deal of them, but those few, I'm assuming the blacksmith's son learned from his father and knows most of his trade. They probably have him making weapons or killed him if he disobeyed.
So you don't have any idea where they might be keeping them?
No clue. Once they leave the city, they're out of my reach.
Alright, that's basically all Anna needed.
I'm gonna get with Emery and start kind of taking stock, seeing what, like, tallying up everything that would need to be done for the temple, get it back in ship shape, and
Okay.
then after that quick little debriefing, so to speak, I'm gonna go over to the back area with the rudimentary, more for show than for function, but it does have some functionality to it. The forge in the back,
Mhm.
and I'm just gonna start
your
unstrapping
thing.
armor, laying it on the table. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
Elred
spear.
or Jacob?
I'll just be watching Jacob. Nothing else that Elwood would want to do in the temple. Just keeping an eye on
Okay.
Snaky Boy.
Jacob's just not really do anything, trying to stay out of people's ways and blend in as much as he can.
So, Neptune, on your way back down, you kind of see Elred, Jacob, and Anna just kind of standing in the foyer as Elred is just deadlocked eyes on Jacob. Jacob leaning up against the wall, arms crossed, just not paying any bit of attention to Elred. And Anna just kind of chilling out for a minute. You don't see Traston. You do kind of hear him and Emery kind of talking, the voices echoing down the hallway. Just kind of what sounds like doing a damage assessment of anything that may need to be repaired in the temple itself.
So when I was up there, the whole city seems to be in chaos except for there's a few individuals that I find weird that are missing. I'm telling Anna, Elred, and Jacob they're the closest trust.
Yep.
Busy.
Yep.
Any thoughts?
Well, I'd like to try to find the blacksmith's wife and son so that he can get me a new gun. Plus, we still need to find that dude and kill him. If he's not dead already.
Something just seems weird that out of all the commotion, I don't see or hear any guards or town watch. It's almost like they're gone or vanished.
Maybe they knew it was coming.
They probably did it themselves.
That or they don't care about the people.
Elred's still dead-eyed, centered on just Jacob.
I'm wondering if the Thieves Guild or Lee might have more information of what actually transpired. Or if maybe
can
they
always
were
ask
actually
him.
the cause of it.
Does Jacob know anything about the Thieves Guild here?
You do not.
Okay.
So I believe if we're done here, then we need to go see them. They might even have information of where the gunsmith's family might be.
So, during the time that Neptune is providing the information to the rest of the group, Traston, you and Emery have basically assessed a good portion of the damage. Miraculously, everything seems to be in pretty
Relatively
good
untouched.
standing. Yeah, it doesn't seem to need much work, probably 100 gold worth of repairs, and that's including the pillars out front. Very minimal damage. They're very lucky to have avoided a good portion of the explosion debris. But this time you've kind of made your way back into the forge area and have begun your ritualistic undressing and repairing and polishing. So, probably take you a couple hours. So. Did you say anything in passing as you walked by the rest of the group, telling where you're going, or you're just kind of going there without mention?
I'll say, hey, I'm gonna be back in the forge if anyone needs me.
Anna's
I'll be
gonna
back in a
follow
while.
Traston back to the forge.
Okay. Anybody else?
So, if they're busy doing that, does Elred and Jacob want to go to the Thieves Guild to find information then?
I'll go to the Thieves Guild with you. That oaf doesn't need to come.
You two not liking each other is the most entertaining thing right now.
Tom and Jerry skit.
Muted.
While before I go back to the forge, do I notice that Elred's just like staring through?
It's very apparent. You can feel him staring. Like, it's a very angry stare.
I'm still hiding it.
You see their energy clashing as tangible as his.
No, it's just my energy overtaking his.
Anna's gonna look at Elred and say, "Why don't you come to the forge and polish your armor? Maybe sharpen your sword."
Take down a couple.
Deal.
Running around. Just you're gonna scare him, right? I don't want you to. I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea of you.
No. I'd rather go with them. We're gonna make sure that Waterboy doesn't get stabbed in the back.
I don't think he's gonna get
Is that
stabbed. in the
really
back,
that big of a
alright?
loss?
You might have
I
a
heard
point.
that.
Kid's quick on his feet. Is all hell. Like he's not gonna get stabbed in the back. I'm gonna be over there. Like he hasn't caused any trouble yet. Well,
He held a knife up to my throat, Traston!
I know.
In all due respect, I had my reasons.
And you've been very rude to him since.
You know what? I got a second. Let's explore that. Can we talk about that for a quick get everyone's 2 cents on that topic? I don't think that was exactly ideal a way to approach us.
No.
Especially that one. you picked the wrong person, you picked the wrong group, and it got you off on the wrong foot. So can we just kind of
Let
get all of our
bygones be
cards out on the table here?
bygones.
Water pun. Let water go under the bridge.
We need a fluid relationship with us all.
Like that tune was gone.
I minor illusion a small bridge with water going underneath it.
The bridge is on fire.
Oh no.
That Monet painting of the bridge.
Elred shoots straight up laser beams at the bridge and says, "Fuck your bridge."
He burnt his last bridge today.
Everything's about bridges here. What's going on?
Listen, let's just let bygones be bygones. You promise you won't put a knife up to his throat or stab him in his back. You promise you won't throw him through any more walls. Deal?
Jacob kind of just gives Elred a glance.
Like, I will if you will.
Yeah, like that.
Or was it like the time Elred held up his social security card and we got a screenshot of it?
And Aelred, you're not gonna punch him anymore, okay? There's not gonna be any more.
This glances back at Jacob. It's a, I don't like it, but sure.
That's how Jacob's feeling too.
Jacob, you're not gonna be holding up knives in anybody's throats anytime soon, are you? You're not planning on doing anything stupid like that?
Jacob nods his head.
Because I want to warn you, that's a thing you get to do once. The next time you do it, I'm pretty damn sure Elred's gonna judo flip you over his shoulder, and he's gonna beat your face into the ground.
I don't know that Elred has the grace required for a judo flip.
Oh no, I didn't say it was gonna be graceful. He's just gonna chuck the fucker over his head.
He's gonna beat
He's
a
bench
motherfucker
pressing
with
a
another
second potato.
motherfucker?
He's gonna beat the ground with him. Puny god.
We have a...
I knew this where it was going.
Tress's nose just starts bleeding.
This,
Well, he's already apologized for holding the knives up to our throats. I've
I
threatened
know.
him. You've threatened him. Elred's
it's-
threatened him.
it's one of
Denassi, would
those
you like
things
to make
where
some thinly veiled threats?
the apology was made, but we
Nah, I'm pretty good.
they're not
Cards on
they're
the
not
table.
thinly veiled.
Vin.
They're not-
Seems like
yeah.
a
They're
good
not-
guy to me.
They're not thinly veiled. We're
kind of have
telling
the
you,
same
we're
style
beat your
of
ass.
fighting.
You try
We
to
just
get.
do a little bit differently.
All right, let's move on.
He's
Yeah,
like
I
my
got
burnt
shit to do.
twin.
You guys figure it out.
Unrest in the group is not good.
He's my burnt twin.
I'm basically
so is
a
he
fire
and I'm
genasi.
water.
How it feels to chew 5 gum.
I forgot
When the four
all about
elements
this
combine.
Okay.
So
Hair.
What was the
Can
gum
we-
that everybody thought you could eat the paper, but you really couldn't?
Hard.
Any
Oh, we're
gun in existence.
Dried?
Elred's just going to look at Jacob. I don't like it. But as long as you don't stab anybody else or try to stab anybody else in the group, except for that one, and this gesture to the Ganassi, then it's fine.
Nobody stabbing nobody, okay?
All right, children, kiss and make up. Hug it out.
Go over and.
Well, I swear by all the might of Morden, I will turn this.
This temple around. Okay.
So it has been decreed.
In a huff, march back to the forge.
Angrily marching back to the forge.
Anna's gonna follow behind Chastin, just shaking her head. Like, honestly, if one of
Like two
them
birds
dies,
watching a pendulum.
it'll be fine.
He's gonna.
Anna's gonna follow Tristan.
Elred's gonna follow Tristan as well. He likes this side of the group.
I guess me and Jacob are off to the Thieves Guild then.
Yes.
Thing 1 and Thing 2 are gonna leave. and the OGs are gonna go sharpen their swords.
To kill thing 1 and thing 2, correct?
Maybe.
I'll give you kill thing 1 and thing 2.
Yeah, you can't fight off all 3 of us.
Eh.
Jacob's been beaten nearly half to death in the time that he's met me.
Save it for the battle royale.
Unintentional battle
Fine.
royale.
Yep.
So, as
Well, it was a fun
Traston,
game.
Elrid, Anna make their way back to the forge, where Elrid and Anna have some dark memories of a ball thrown at high velocity, and Traston taking great pride in this room. Neptune and Jacob make their way down into the sewers to make their way back down to the Thieves Guild. Jacob following Neptune pretty closely as he does not know the way. Let's take a quick 15-minute break. We'll be back at about 8:30. And we are back. Apparently my video is acting really funky. There we go. Okay. So, Neptune and Jacob are making their way down to the Thieves Guild underneath the city. During this time, Elrid, Anna, and Traston have decided to take another stay in the forge area of the temple, where Traston basically goes to pay his respects and pray to Moradin. So, all 3 of you basically enter in the room. Anna, Elrid, you start to see Traston start to unstrap his armor and start to give it the good old once-over, starting to sharpen his spear and polish his plate. So, anything you two would like to do during this time?
Going through the motions, getting all up in the treat yourself moment. Getting out the oil, oiling the spear handle, polishing the armor, whetstone to the blade.
I'm gonna say Elrod's not used to equipment maintenance. He really doesn't. Most of the equipment he's had in his life has been something he's used. He stabbed someone with it, left it in their throat, and then ran away. So, keeping stuff actually well kept is not something he really does. So he's probably gonna look at Traston, a little confused, kind of studying what he's doing.
Not even your father's blade.
Father's blade's fine.
Okay. Yeah, just kind of keeping a close eye on Traston as he is really getting in there, trying to buff out the scratches that happened over the last day or so from the last time that he did it. His armor and his spear look very, very shiny, very well kept. Very few nicks, very few blemishes on either the armor or the spear itself.
Unlike him.
You like him? Is that what you said?
No, I said unlike him.
Unlike him. Yours is very, very beaten. Some of the plate itself is kind of melted, a little warped. It doesn't seem to fit right anymore as you've
talking
taken
about
your...
Elrid?
Yes.
He's wearing the living armor.
Yes. It's melted a little bit. You've taken a lot of fireballs to the face.
I don't think that's how living armor works.
It is. Just the metal seems warped. Like, it doesn't seem to fit quite like it should. It's very...
But it's
not
leather.
shiny. It's looking bad, Joe. It's looking bad. It's nicked. It's melted leather. Then it's got that weird singed, very dark spots spattered throughout the armor. Not nearly as shiny or well taken care of as Traston's equipment.
He's watching me, studying what he's doing, confused.
Well, can I help you?
No, not really.
You look perplexed. to an extent, I have not seen you in a good long while.
15 minutes ago?
Looks like he's trying to figure out if he has a brain.
Like I said, perplexed, not pissed.
There's a difference.
Yes.
Hey, what are you doing there?
Praying.
Elwood doesn't know the difference. Huh. Okay. And this is how you. This is praying.
For me, yeah. For most of the forge tenders, it's how we kind of do business, connect in the moment.
Is that what that guy at the armor shop was doing? He was wiping down equipment. He was praying?
Same basic concepts, but the meaning's a little bit lessened. It's his is more of a monetarily and financial. I would assume.
Oh, so praying's how you make money.
Intention, and mine is more so a more deep connection, if that makes any sense. Listen, so Morden is not a conventional god not in the same way as someone like Palor would be, or someone like Ayun. This is it's a involved process. This is just kind of not all of us do it the same way. This is just the way I kind of started picking up doing it. Some people like to hammer out weapons while they're praying. Some people like to just sit and meditate. Some people like to just get on their knees and steeple their hands and call it a day.
So I think I have an interest in. The deeper your connection, the more money you make.
Sure. Also, the shinier your armor is, the more likely someone's going to buy it or steal it.
But I'm not selling it.
Right.
But you might be one day.
I also don't
You
want people
also
to steal
want
it.
to be able to keep a good fit and finish on just about everything you have. That way, if push comes to shove, you're not going to have something fail on you, or a strap break, or get torn. You don't want to have a plate get out of alignment. You don't want to have something hinder how you can move, especially when you start getting into some heavier plate like this one is. This isn't a whole set, but
I've always just ripped off the armor and found a new pair on the person I just killed.
and that works. This one's a little custom. I had it custom made back in Granite, so it's a little bit more thorough meaning to it, at least to me. And well, this spear, as you well know, has served me pretty well. I'd like to pay it the same respect it pays me.
So you're paying each other?
With respect, yes. Why do you think there's F's all the way around it? I gotta pay respects.
Just imagine Treston's face.
F's in the
Those
chat,
aren't
please.
Nordic runes. Those are just
So,
F's.
so is the point of you doing this? Is it for your well-being?
It's a multifaceted situation. I get to have my quiet time. I get
She's sitting there talking to Elrin.
I get to sit in and just kind of live in the moment. It's almost like I'm filled with something greater than myself in the moment while I'm polishing and oiling and making sure that all the straps are in the right place and they're not in any kind of disrepair. They're not going to fall apart on me in the middle of a fight.
While you're saying all this, you just see Elrin grab a chair. As you're saying quiet time, he's grabbing a stool, pulling up next to you, and just sitting down there, completely invested in this conversation. Like, the more invested you've seen him in any conversation other than like one with John.
All right, well, guess we're doing this.
So show me what I do.
All right, so get your blade on up here. I know it's pretty fancy looking, and it keeps well by itself most of the time, but even then, so feel that, and I like point to the hilt. You feel the wrappings. You feel how kind of like they're nice. They're nice round in your hand, right? It's got a good fit, good finish. Feels good in the hand. That's gonna be gift forever. The leather wrapped around it. Notice how it's getting kind of spackled, get a little bit of the greases and oils from your hand are starting to erode away at the fine leather appearance of this hilt. Now watch this, and I take some of the oil I've been using for the leather, and just get a little bit on there and start rubbing it around. You're gonna want that to sit for a little bit, and you just take one of these, and I pull up one of the rags. You want to wipe it down with the grain of the old animal's hide, with the wrapping. When you pull it away, now feel it.
But I don't want to hurt it.
We won't hurt it now. It's something that just happens. There's nothing you can do about it, really. You just gotta take care of it. Is all. That's all it changes.
He grabs it. What does Elred feel, Daryl?
It feels much softer, but yet firm. Like it's got a little bit more resilience to it. It feels like it's going to stay together.
So soft
a
and
lot
firm.
better. Yes. Cool combination. The leather itself is soft to the touch, but it feels like it's definitely a little more tense, and it feels like it kind of tightened around the blade hilt a little bit better.
You want to put a little bit of elbow grease, not literal elbow. Sorry. You want to put a little bit of effort in. You want to put a little bit of effort into it when you're not that one exactly, but the other elbow. Just a little bit of force down into it. That way you're not just babying it a little bit. You can be a little rough with it when you're putting the oil on, and when you're getting the rag, make sure you're going along with it. That's the important part right there. They're going along with it. Now
Why does
the
this
blade.
sound like some weird sex ed class?
Motion of the ocean.
It's gonna be soft and firm. But keep going along.
Now
This
the
is why
blade.
we have the mature rating.
Yeah. You see the little nicks and clips of the metal, kind of just a little. You see that right there where they're it's not quite like I start flicking it with my thumb on the edge. It's not cutting quite as well right there. And damn, this blade's pretty sharp by itself. Right there too. Right there. You take one of these. I grab one of the whetstones off the table, and you scrape it lengthwise. Across the blade. Making sure to get a good angle on it. Good 45 degrees, and just go straight across. Get a good amount of force into it and push, and then just let it slide.
You take the
Now-
rock and you rub it on the blade.
Ow! Shit, that's sharp. Okay, maybe not need to do that much force. That son of a bitch is gonna. I could cut paper.
Oh, I hope so. Paper's pretty thin.
No, like this, and I pull out a scrap piece of parchment and just go.
As you take out the parchment, just barely pressing the blade to it, it just slices it clean in half.
Like that.
That is what blades do. They cut.
Now you try, and I give him the whetstone. Or I hold out the whetstone. Take the other side. No. It's not a bludgeoning weapon. Well, it can. Anything can be. Never mind. That other side of the blade. Now you start at the hilt here. And like Patrick Swayze and Ghost, I get behind him. No, so start at the hilt.
Don't forget the hilt. It's very important, Elrid.
Oh yeah, work the shaft.
What?
Rated R for mature.
All of these are being clipped.
Alright, I think I'm gonna head out.
Things are getting weird in the forge as Anna makes her way out as to let Traston and Elrid handle their fantasies in person.
Anna's knife
Straight
or
down.
Anna's sword is sharp, her armor's polished, she's getting the heck out of there before they start polishing other stuff. Don't make that face like you weren't part of it.
Elward's just trying to figure out what the hell's going on, but
You
Traston is
baby Carriel's looking mofo.
Traston's an opportunist. He's like, here, I have something for you to practice on.
Traston slides down trousers.
And this is still part of this paying respect.
Look at Grumgur's face.
I can't see it.
He looks so profoundly uncomfortable.
What happens in the
Well-
forge stays in the forge.
It's fine.
So we'll just say that conversation and training.
Yeah, we
Goes
go
on
we
for
go
that.
over the
Yep.
maintaining
You'll
the
continue
fight,
your training
Maintain-
session of how to maintain your equipment and
How
armor.
Traston trained Anna.
maintaining the tip.
Take stone. Rub.
Rug,
armor.
rug, rock.
How Traston trained Elrid. Gets behind him like he's Patrick Swayze in Ghost.
Okay, so Neptune and Jacob making your way down, following Neptune as close as you can, Jacob, as to not get lost within these tunnels. You see Neptune take this bronze emblem out of his pocket and just kind of depress it into some of the little depressions inside of the walls periodically, as he just quickly says, "Hurry up. Come on, get through here." As no sooner than 10 seconds later, this wall closes immediately behind you. About 10, 15, up to 30 minutes. You finally get into this oddly immaculate sewer system, almost made completely of marble. It seems to be unusually clean for what you would expect out of a sewer system. You guys make your way down into the Thieves Guild area, where you start to hear the hustle and bustle of what sounds like a tavern. You hear many people kind of talking back and forth. It does sound unusually panicked. The people down here don't seem to be as calm as they have been in the past to you, Neptune. So, what do you guys want to do?
Guess look for Lee or look for insert leader here.
Simon.
Simon. That's right, Simon.
So, go ahead and just give me an investigation check. And Jacob, are you looking at anything in particular or anything?
Jacob's just looking around the area, just because it's new to him, and he's trying to see if there's anything that sketches him out.
Give me a perception check.
16 on investigation.
Okay.
15.
15. Okay. So as you guys are kind of going through down the hallway, Neptune, you see Lee and Simon kind of standing in front of his office, not necessarily standing inside it, looking around for Jacob. You see a very, very large crack that starts in the middle of the floor and makes its way up and around to the middle of the ceiling. This thing's probably about a foot in width. Just cracked all the way around. And you can definitely see some structural integrity issues, as there's still kind of bits and pieces of essentially grinded marble just kind of falling down from the ceiling.
Jacob's gonna head over to where Neptune and them are.
Okay. Easily enough, walking over there. You kind of see the look on Simon's face. It looks a little panicked, but he's trying to maintain composure to kind of keep everybody's spirits up to say, you know, everything's gonna be fine. There's no problems here. So, what would you guys like to do?
Go up to him, say what's going on. What's going on?
Please fill me in on everything that happened up there. Seems to have been some kind of explosion that essentially leveled
that.
the mansion. So, what did you guys do while you were up there?
Nothing in particular. I mean, we tried to get to the royal chambers and or starting to head back because we found the gunsmith and it broke into flame and shortly after exploded.
They must have known you were there. Did you guys try to sneak around, or did you just kind of go in there guns a-blazing?
I tried to sneak around. I don't know about other people.
I see. Is
What
there
was
anything
our kill
unusual?
count at?
You killed 6 guards out in the hallway, 2 in the tunnel, and then 2 cultists in the hidden passageway, so a total of 10 kills.
10 people dead, yeah, that sounds about right. Some were already dead, they just were walking around still.
What do you mean?
They were undead.
I haven't seen any undead around here. Can you describe it?
Well, one was a skeleton-like mage, and the other one was a husk of a man, but strong as an ox, I guess.
He just kind of looks down and tries to collect his thoughts, as he's obviously something has gone awry in his plans, and he's trying to determine what his next steps are.
That's what I was hoping you could help us with. What is our next plan?
Well, if I had to guess, I would say Cidolfus probably escaped. I'm getting reports from my other members that are saying that they aren't noticing any kind of structure or organization up top. People are just kind of scrambling, and that's concerning, as people don't have anyone to look to for guidance.
Well, I also noticed in the town there's no guards or anything that I could see trying to help the city or the people in the city.
We're not seeing any trace of Cidolfus or his men at all, and it's eerily quiet up there, aside from the screams from the people who have been impacted by whatever shook the earth. Well, the planet. The plane.
Well,
The plane.
this personally feels like a perfect time to step in and say that you're the savior of this town, wouldn't it? To assist the people that are injured.
That is my plan. I do not believe that Cidolfus will be coming back here anytime soon. If I had to guess, he's hiding out somewhere else.
Can I insight check him on if it was really his plan, or did I just give him a good idea?
Yeah, go ahead and give me an insight check.
Um, need to build it. It will be a 22.
He did think of that prior to you bringing it up. He's just got many, many other
Okay.
thoughts going through his head as trying to figure out how to keep the citizens in line and try to bring the city back from this tragedy.
Okay. Sounds like you need to get out of here too, because the building or the sewers look like they could cave in at time.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out. The tunnels are not very kind, as you guys have seen. You can only probably get 5 or 6 people through at a time, and we have well over 100 people down here. We're trying to find the quickest, most effective way to get everybody out alive. But also, not bringing up the fact that we exist.
Yeah. Don't know any mages that could help support.
None in the city. None that are willing to help us. And none that we trust. So, we've done it on our own before, we'll do it again. It's just a matter of what is the best option for us. And we'll
So
get that figured out.
As we're talking, I peer around and see if did Anna's brother leave, or is he still around?
You do not see Andre.
Did Andre leave your care, or did he?
I'm sorry, repeat that.
I said, did Andre leave your care?
Yes, he made back out for Krasana after staying here for a short time, trying to get a little more information, but he set out last night.
Okay, before all this happened.
Yes.
Do you know anything about who may have caused the explosion, or what?
We know as much as you.
Okay.
All we know is the building exploded and we have no idea where or how.
Alright, I asked Jacob and be like, do you know anything of someone may have attacked the building? Maybe out of rage? Not pointing fingers at Elrid?
By the building, you mean the castle thing?
Yeah. Do you know of any more enemies that he has?
I don't know who would have attacked it other than the guards themselves. The fire seemed similar to what happened to my village. It spread pretty fast.
Well, I didn't know if maybe you had more information due to the fact that the way you fight is similar to the ways I fight, so I didn't know who trained you in your arts, but I thought maybe they were all an enemy.
My guess is it's one of the guards who was working for Cidolfus.
Alright then. By any chance, Lee, do you know of the whereabouts of possibly the gunsmith's family?
Unfortunately, I do not keep the names. I just see that I keep track of the actions. I see people being carried in and shoveled out, but I don't necessarily know the people who are being moved.
Do you know where they go?
It's hard to say. They go to different places each time. Some
So
have
they could
been,
have been
seen in
separated.
Crystalline, some have been seen in Krasana. I've seen a few go to Granite. It's kind of sporadic. They don't go to the same place twice. But I lose sight of them after a while, and can't risk compromising my position.
So basically being sold to the highest bidder of the cult, in theory.
We don't know for certain.
Alright. You guys don't need any help or anything while we are here, or any information that has came up that would enlighten our journey with the next steps that we can do, or...
We've been worried about taking the city back at the most recent times, but there's not much you can do for us at the moment. This is something we have to handle on our own, hopefully before the entire system collapses.
I just didn't know if you could use the fact of, like, the heroes save the day to run off dreaded Cidolfus.
No, because that would make me look weak. I don't need the townspeople to trust me, so to speak.
Jacob's
Well, I
gonna
was meaning
kind of
you
chuckle
can
at that.
You
Yes.
can use that idea, is what I'm saying.
We will
Alright,
be the
I
heroes
guess-
this day.
Yes, that's what I'm expecting.
Do you
Well,
need
you
anything
got everything
else?
taken care of. Not that I know of.
Okay. I'd advise getting out
Guess
of here
we're
as
off.
quick as possible. Yes.
You're gonna get everybody out in time then, before it collapses.
We've got a staggered plan of moving people out.
Okay. I guess we're off then. And I turn to head out.
Jacob
kinda-
follows.
Just kind of nods. You guys heading out the same way you came in?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and, as you guys are heading out that way, go ahead and give me perception checks as you're traveling.
Seven.
17.
17? Okay. And Neptune?
7.
7. Okay. Jacob, looking around, it is a little dark, but you start to see some more cracks appear in this tunnel, just kind of following the tunnel along the wall. Crack seems to be much smaller. It's probably about half an inch wide. Probably why I didn't notice it the first time you guys came down. But you start to see that it kind of continues to spiderweb off as this may be a much larger issue than originally thought. As you guys get to about the last door, the cracks seem to stop. So anything past that point seems to be okay where the structural integrity is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mhm.
anything before that point is questionable at best.
But we make it alright.
Yep, you guys make it back up, pop out the sewer right behind the
So
The
as we're
temple there.
walking, I kind of ask Jacob, because the last time I knew is he's still wearing his leather armor, right?
yes.
So I kind of give him a hint on that. I believe that the armor is hindering him, that he needs to try and move more freely and fluently.
Are you talking about the black armor that covers me?
Yeah.
Jacob's just gonna sigh a little bit. He says, "His armor is not coming."
Okay. Well, I was just meaning that if you have a hard time dodging someone that's raged, it might be better if you try to change up the armor to something
What I
much
hear
lighter.
from this conversation is Neptune wants you to undress.
No, It's not that I want him to undress.
Similar themes in both areas.
Funny.
Love stories progressing at their own pace in different places.
Both are hitting a climax.
Oh no, this is just the rising action.
So,
I guess in a way, I'm trying to think of like my skill. I feel is a little bit cleaner without no armor on, but I have clothing on. I'm just telling him that it might be beneficial if he was to lose the armor. But anyway,
it sounds
I'm
like
sure
he
he'll
listened
figure it out.
and
This is,
disregarded.
this is when Jacob says, well, maybe it's moving more fluid if you take your clothes off, too.
No.
Jacob's not into that. Sorry, Joe.
You don't know that.
So, you guys took about 2.5 hours round trip to make your way down to the Thieves Guild and then have your little discussion, make your way back. Judging off the time estimate and how slow of a learner Elrid is, you can probably still imagine that Traston and Elrid and Anna are probably in the forge still. Neptune, you've been nearby it before, so you kind of know where it's at. Jacob, you've got no idea.
He's still following Neptune.
Yes.
Yep.
So, you're at the temple. Where would you like to go?
Anna left, didn't she? So if we go to the forge, we only see them.
I just walked out into like the main room of the temple because I couldn't deal with the Traston Elrid sex
So
scene that
we'd
was about to take place in the forge.
Oh,
I didn't
we
think
would
they
see
needed
Anna
witnesses.
first then, right?
You should.
Yeah.
There,
as
there
you
was
guys,
nothing like that happening.
as you guys
Liar.
walk
Being
into,
I have more information for Anna, I would go up to Anna.
Yeah.
So
you guys walk in to see Anna. Anna, you see Neptune start to approach you with a shadow in tow. Proceed.
it was a mess down there.
They probably won't have time to make it out.
What we know is he said there's many more ways that you could get out of there. He probably knows about the certain paths that are going to collapse beforehand, so. But it seems that our business here in this town is pretty much done. He believes Cidolfus has fled the scene along with his men. I'm wondering if he saw our presence within the castle and took fear and ran off. So
Interesting.
I also asked about your brother too, Anna. He seems to have left yesterday back to your home nation or town.
Crisana.
Crisana.
Must have had something important there.
So Lee told me about information that he has tracked some of them, but he doesn't know anyone by name. He said they could have the family of the gunsmith could have ended up anywhere. So he said they could have ended up at Cristania or other places. So at this point we're at a standstill. Even they don't believe that we could help any more than what we've already have, because he thinks that he needs to step up and claim the city while he's helping the people. So
Elred and Treston are still in the forge at the moment. Is there anything you guys would like to do while you're kind of waiting for those two to finish up?
I guess at this point we wouldn't be able to contact Tokax, can we?
No.
Would the temple have a cleric or something we could try and?
Elaborate.
Would they be able to cast the sending spell and ask him questions for us?
And who are we asking questions?
Just if they had a cleric inside the temple that could ask Tokax a question, since he's in Granite right now, right?
I believe the sending spell is someone you are familiar with or you know.
Okay. I didn't know if it was possible, that's why I was asking.
Yeah, I believe that's the wording on it. Let me check real quick, but judging on Emery's appearance, he does seem to be of a clerical nature. Whether or not he can perform such an action is a little different. Yeah, you have to know the person.
Okay. Without really getting a message, I'd almost say that maybe we should return to Granite to see how things are going there before we make our next move, but I don't even know where to start to try to find Cidolfus, if we can even find him.
Anna, do you have any ideas?
I have no idea where Cidolfus is, unfortunately. But I don't think it's a good idea to go back to Granite at this time.
I just didn't
Traston,
know
what do
if
you
we...
think?
Treston's not
He's in
here
the
right now.
forge.
Traston's in the forge still, with Elrid. We hear singing in the background, don't we?
Do you believe in magic?
Maybe we should go get them. Discuss it as a group.
Okay, is that the common consensus is to head to the forge?
I mean, yeah, that's probably what we need to do.
Okay. As you guys make your way down into the forge, you guys see Traston and Elrid. Elrid, a little bit more focused and just kind of staring at this blade with this rock and just like trying to be careful but not knowing exactly what he's doing, with Traston just kind of sighing in disbelief at just how uncaring he is for his equipment and not knowing how to care for it. Just as he turns to see you guys walk in, Elrid solely focused on his weapon at the moment, trying to fix it.
And I would have moved on to armor by now,
Mm-hmm.
helping him where possible,
Yes.
and leaving the
Oh yeah,
The
that whole
rest
2-hour
made
time frame
very
you were
far.
working on your armor in the time that he was still trying to figure out how to make the rock work. So you've gotten a good bit of your armor already polished to perfection. But still working on it as you notice the other three walk in through the forge doors there.
Y'all missed a lesson. We'll try again tomorrow then. But how can we help you? Just at wit's end.
Neptune, Anna, Jacob, anything you would like to say back to Traston?
Cool.
Well, the lesson started to get a little interesting, so I thought maybe you and Elred needed a chance to bond.
Okay.
I wasn't here. I'm sorry. I don't know what you mean by bonding.
They were having a private conversation that I didn't feel I needed to be privy to.
It was a public
Okay.
conversation. I even said I'll be back in the forge if anybody needs me. And you just walked out without a word.
So,
Nifty.
I'll say is anyone else gonna
That's
fill
what I said.
Traston in on what was discovered during the 2.5-hour session?
Well, Jacob, you were there, so why don't you fill him in?
It looks like the Thieves Guild is probably gonna collapse in on itself. Hopefully they can get everyone out in time. I doubt it.
Okay.
They have
what about
no
Cidolfus?
idea where Cidolfus went. They don't know where the gunsmith's family is either. They said it could be hiding or heading to multiple locations, including Anna's hometown, or home country, I should say. But they don't know for sure.
Huh. So, I hope everyone's on the same page as I am here. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Cidolfus died before we leave. We're on the same page here. I'll take your silence as acceptance.
Yes.
Jacob, buddy, here's a thought. You've been pretty useful since holding knives to throats. Not to bring up old grudges and nothing. I'm just stating the facts, you know.
Hear the grumble in the background.
That said, you could win some major brownie points with everybody in this room. I know at least myself and Elred. If you help us complete that goal and make sure Cidolfus stops breathing before we leave the city.
Jacob nods his head. I came here to kill people with that symbol, and he must be one of them, so I would help.
He's the one of them.
The biggest
One
thing
of
is
the
that
big fellas.
even the Thieves Guild believe that Cidolfus is no longer here.
So I
They
can't
didn't seem
imagine
very
why he would
competent.
just- I can see where he would retreat himself down to some kind of fortitude where it's not easy to get at him, but I can't imagine him just leaving the whole damn city in shambles and dipping out in the middle of all this. he's got to be overseen in some way, shape, or form. Like he's got to maintain some kind of connection here, even if he is out of the city. There's got to be something we can trace back to him and find out where his hidey hole is. Smoke him out.
It's almost like he knew we were there and he removed the mansion in tow because he wanted to remove us from the...
To be fair, we weren't exactly doing things very subtly.
I tried.
Yeah. So did I. I'm not too great at it, though.
Might have been Elred and I's fault, but it happens.
Live and learn, eh?
Bang, bang goes the trolley.
Bang, clang, clang, clang goes the trolley.
Wait,
Oh,
you
what time
guys
is it,
have
Daryl?
seen that movie?
No, I just know the song.
Different context.
Oh, you guys aren't talking about Meet Me in St. Louis? Because that's where that song came from.
Yeah. It's a separate context of which it was belted to the all the colors of the wind.
Of course it was.
I'll show you after the stream.
So,
What time is it in game?
you can estimate
Leon here.
roughly somewhere around 7 in the morning. As the sun had just begun to rise when you guys came out of the mansion, and you guys spent a couple hours down in the sewers, so somewhere between 7 and 8 probably is the
We
best
lost
guess.
our incendiary pocket watch. That's a good band name.
Doggy. So, at about this point, out of just complete muscle memory, Traston finishing up his polishing of his armor, even while holding conversation, almost like it's a sixth sense. Ooh, ooh, being attacked.
You can see the doggy.
What would you guys like to do? Elrid seemingly getting the hang of the whetstone after many hours of trial and error and many cuts on his fingers
Ariel, what are you doing?
as the dog is attempting to attack the invisible man.
Or do you mean the invisible dog attacking visible man?
So, 7:30 a.m. Y'all are a little tuckered out. Some things have obviously happened.
I'm almost worse for wear. If I had to put a number on it, I feel about a 53.
Out of
On a
what?
s-
Out of
A scale of 1
101
to s-
or 111.
Out of 111, how do you feel this morning?
53.
53.
Anna's gonna go over into one of the corners and just trance.
I'm feeling a whole 100%, a whole 127.
I think we need to take a break for a moment and see if maybe let the rest of the city.
Yeah,
How's
Jacob's
it-
gonna.
What's
How's
going
it been
on?
looking? Yeah.
Outside?
Yeah, kind of meander. Once we're done with the polishing and buffing and etc., I want to kind of meander
Just people
outside with the
getting
conversation,
help,
walk
I
and talk,
guess.
and see if like shit's still kind of hitting the fan, or if it's kind of simmered down a bit and people are kind of.
Okay. And is anyone else going with Traston? I'm assuming he's
Yeah, I'll-
communicated this to you all and just kind of say, "Hey, let's go check out the city."
Since I was there with them, I'd probably
Yeah.
go with them. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trancing.
Okay. Anna and Jacob are just kind of taking a chill break.
I think I'm gonna chill with them as well and
Okay. Traston,
Try to
Neptune, Jacob, and Anna
heal
have
up.
decided to pop a squat and just kind of take a little break. They're feeling a little rough. Elred has
reassess the
offered to
situation.
offered to travel with you and see if there's anything you guys can do for some of the residents of the city.
Since we spent so much time together and you showed me so much, I'll come with you.
So,
Alrighty.
Okay.
Sure thing. Okay.
Okay, now let's
There,
go.
bud. Oh yeah. Let's go out for a rip now, eh?
so as you guys kind of make your way to the quote-unquote center, basically where the you reach the next level. You guys are on the second floor. Basically, it leads to the top and the bottom floor, so the first and third layers. You start to see a few people start to dash in the direction of the second floor, straight ahead. There's probably about 5 or 6 people just running. Looks to be at a specific building. If you look straight ahead, you see a collapsed building. Looks like one of the pillars landed completely on its side right in the middle of this establishment. Treston, you know that this was the most popular inn on the second floor. And given the time of the explosion, people were still resting during that time.
Going to it.
Okay. As you guys
Sprinting over.
As you guys get closer to it, you start to hear the faint screams of people just requesting help. They've been trapped underneath the rubble. You see about 3 other individuals trying to quickly move some of the snapped woods off of the pile and trying to dig them out, essentially, as best as they can. They look to be, the people digging out seems to be pretty malnourished. They're very weak.
Yeah, go
But-
full rage, just starting to pick up stone and wood, timbers, as I can.
Starts trying to help him as well.
Okay. Go ahead
Clifton's
and
trying
give
to
me,
clear a path.
each one of you give me 3 strength checks.
First one was 18.
First one was a non-natural 20.
Second one's a natural 20.
Second one's a non-natural 20.
Third one's a 19.
Third one's a 9.
You guys were almost in sync there for a second.
Okay, so
4 of those people are fine. Well, 5 of those people are fine.
as you guys kind of gesture to the 3 individuals who just look completely beaten, looks like they've been trying to dig out these people for a couple hours. You guys just run in there with all your strength and all your determination and start peeling back these
Raging,
pieces of
frothing at the
wood as you are just picking them up and essentially moving a quarter of a pile at the time, just picking up from the bottom and tipping over. As you guys get through about 5 minutes of digging, you see a dwarf individual whose legs seem to be broken. They seem to be dressed in kind of a uniform, and some of the wood around it signifies this is where kind of the bar was at the time. You managed to pull them out and hand them over to the 3 individuals who were attempting to help before, and they try to do their best to take care and dress the person's wounds, and I would say try to get them back on their feet, but yeah, that's not happening.
Cure wounds and lay on hands as I can.
Yep.
Going through, just trying to get them into a state where they can move of their own accord as best as possible. If they're looking worse for wear, like they're not going to be able to walk, like legs or powder, full cure wounds. Second level, otherwise, some lay on hands just to pump some health into them.
On a scale of straight as a noodle to twisted as a pretzel, how bad are their legs broken?
How to put this? Remember Gumby? That's their legs.
Oh no 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 no!
You can definitely see parts of the femur sticking right out of their legs there, and
Like going through, like raging, still frothing. Like, thank you very much. Oh, that looks very bad. Let me help you there, and just.
yep.
Trying to straighten out their legs with a sheer strength. Just
It's gonna hurt. 1, 2.
You realize that it continues to bend.
Oh.
The bone is essentially gone, other than bits and pieces.
Remember
It
that
was-
scene from Harry Potter?
Yeah, it's almost like they drank that, and it's just kind of. And that's just the first individual you found. Digging even further down, this is about the point where you guys hit the pillar. Using both of your checks, you both managed to each pick up a side and just with all your might and anger just kind of toss it off to where it kind of rolls up against the side and seems to become stationary as you guys try to carefully but quickly get it out of the way.
Anime veins going through.
Right. Veins about to burst in your temples as you were just straining, using every bit of your muscle to try to lift this enormous piece of marbled pillar.
I'm back.
Underneath
We both. Nothing. Don't keep going. It's fine.
Underneath there, you do see two deceased individuals. One seems to be human, one seems to be elven, as well as a couple of children. They seem to be half-elves. They seem to be relatively fine. They were essentially protected by the two individuals that lost their lives, as they were basically crushed by that pillar and the other debris that fell on top of them.
Look around
Dig-
for anyone who's still kind of who were trying to dig out earlier. Anybody know who these guys are? Anyone know who these folks might be?
The three individuals who were trying to help just kind of shaking their head no. They just kind of ran over to help. They don't necessarily know who's there.
The kids are right there with us.
Mm-hmm. They
I'm just gonna
seem
bend down.
unharmed. So,
Yeah, I'm just gonna bend down to, how many are there?
2.
I'm just gonna bend down on one knee to the two and say, "Do you know who your parents are?"
With the saddest look on their face, they kind of, yeah, they point at the 2 individuals who you have uncovered.
And these are the ones that died.
Correct.
Well, they gave their lives for you. So the
You just
best thing you
kinda-
can do is live for them.
As you tell them that their parents are dead, they just start bursting into tears.
The realization wasn't there.
That was not there. Their
Also,
bodies
Santa-
were
Santa
still.
Claus-
Find a dead elf. You find a dead human. You find some half-elven children. Huh. I wonder if they aren't related.
Also, Santa Claus isn't real. Easter Bunny's a lie.
Tooth Fairy. Don't forget the Tooth Fairy.
Tooth Fairy is actually a teeth devil.
If Santa Claus was an ad campaign and
Any other dreams? Any other dreams or fantasies I can ruin?
You're lucky they rolled a 19 on their depression roll, so they're fine
Good.
at the moment.
Good.
They're still taking it all in. They're still worried about their parents.
They're like
Ah.
literally in shock, and you guys are just piling on.
Look,
gonna
this will
get
make it
these
seem
kids a
much less worse.
I'm gonna give these kids a shock blanket. It'll help. You're in
So-
shock. Here.
As you guys kind of get them out of the way, you kind of continue digging.
Disposed.
They kind of go take refuge by the other 3 people that were helping previously, and they start to look over, make sure that the kids are okay, no broken bones, anything like that. As you guys continue digging, you're finally getting to the back where the tavern wasn't really damaged as much since it fell right in the center. This is where you find the most people. They seem to be completely covered in dirt, grime. There's probably about 10 of them. Mostly they're just in shock. Last thing they expected was a giant pillar to come crashing into the establishment. So
I kind of bend down on them. If you kids kind of stick close by, we'll take you someplace safe.
they're not necessarily kids. Some of them are adults.
Bends down, crotch level. I'll take you
The-
somewhere
the-
safe.
Well,
kid-
they're basically in the fetal position, kind of huddled up to keep warm, and hopefully if something falls,
Take some
not
boat back.
die. Right. But you manage to kind of clear a path as the last person starts to get out of the wreckage there. I need you both to give me a dexterity saving throw.
Do I see it?
You definitely see it. You definitely hear it too. Not magical.
Well, might check a save.
Mine is a 17.
17.
Okay.
Dangerous ants.
So as you
Stop.
guys start to see the last person make their way out, they get about 5-10 feet. You take one final glance in to make sure that there's nobody left, and you start to hear this creak and then this large, loud snap where the final bearing and post of the wall just completely shatters as the wall starts to tip towards you guys. You guys make a mad dash back to the area where the people are being cared for, and just narrowly getting out of there as this wall comes crashing down and a cloud of dust and smoke, just almost like mushroom clouds right on that spot. Seems like you've saved a good majority of the people in that area. The dwarf, looking the roughest of the alive rescued individuals, thanks you for, casting your spells on him to try to fix his legs. His name is Dan, by the way.
Lieutenant Dan?
You do see a star or two, kind of
You don't
on
have
his
no
uniform.
legs.
Lieutenant Dan?
And that's where you
He's
get
from
his
the
name,
south.
is you see the name tag and it says Dan.
Go over to the newly minted orphans, and
Newly minted orphan.
Fresh, right out of the box, not even 2 hours old.
Fresh off the
Yeah.
press.
fresh off depressed.
That killed their parents. The
Aw.
press that killed their parents.
Kind of look their way, and if you folks need a place to kind of process, keep close by. There should be plenty of room at Moradin's temple.
They're just trying to fight back the tears, and they just kind of nod, and they don't really know what you're saying. They don't know where this temple is. They're just very, very sad.
right across the street?
They're not from this city.
Oh, good. Sure. Stick close by, and we'll get you there. We're heading there next.
Okay.
As Traston's explaining this to him, he's just Elward's just sitting there plotting, moving them, saying, "This is your room, and that's Jacob's room." They all just pile in there. Just close the door.
They have a lot in common.
Now we should talk about half-elven kids and their propensity for evil.
So, are the two half-elf children the only ones that you're taking back to the temple?
And pretty much anybody that looks like they're not in fit condition.
I would say the only one that doesn't look to be able to care for himself is the dwarf, Mr. Dan.
Honestly, anyone who looks like they have that lost look in their eyes, like they don't know where to go. Like
You're
any
trying-
other travelers who might have been staying here who are like, where? What?
You're trying really
Does this
hard to get us
happen every week?
You're trying really hard to get us away from the stereotype of like the traveling orphanage that we've acquired.
I mean, okay, so first you adopted John, and then
I did not adopt John.
I didn't say you adopted John. And then, after you adopted John, you just dumped him with Tokax. And then, Leo found his sister, so we acquired another child. And then you chose to babysit the two children and take them to get toys. And then you shipped both of them off to Tokax. Now you're just finding a random group of half-elves, and you're like, oh, by the way, your parents sacrificed themselves for you, so they're dead.
The real loser in all this is Tokax. He just keeps getting more
I know,
children.
are you gonna give the orphan half-elves to him, too? The Archmage just has like 10 kids
Elward
surrounding him. It's like,
secretly wants to be a father.
You remember early on he didn't like Tokax, so this is how he pays him back.
Well, Elred and
You're
Bastion can't
like,
have kids together. They have to adopt.
I feel like it's a
What are you
lie.
trying to say? Are you saying I'm not equipped? You'd
yes,
be right.
that's exactly what he's saying. You have a dangly where you should have a taco. That's the problem.
Maybe it's a burrito.
You saying Traston should have a taco?
I
just
mean, if you
remove
want to make
the
babies,
mature
there needs to be a
filter.
taco somewhere. That's
Why
just
would you
basic
ever
biology.
remove the mature filter? You know the fuck.
'Cause
I
I
actually
didn't
didn't get
say
the
that.
opportunity to, so if Daryl, if you did, I did not.
I did, yes.
Oh, well,
You know better than that. Why would you
It's-
ever
I
remove
like how
the
you
mature
can
Fine.
literally see Ariel's head behind you, like scoot over just a tiny bit.
She is very angry right now.
Yeah, so we'll
She's
take.
not angry. She just wants your attention.
So Alfred's more worried about the two half-elven children. He cares less about the dwarf. But Traston.
You're just gonna leave Gimli like that?
Yeah,
it's-
as
it's
far
Dan,
as
he's fine.
whether or not they look like they know what happened, all of them look completely lost and completely out of their mind. They're just... That's just not something they expected.
Does
not
anybody
trained
else
with it.
imagine that Elred's like, hi ho, it's off to Tokax we go.
So we're bringing those ones back. As far as we know, is there anything else that we see around us? Any other people that we think need help?
DM.
Before we depart, I'm gonna let some of the other folks know that hey, there's some bodies in there. Could someone kind of retrieve them, keep them out of the public eye too much, and get them out of there, at least.
They kind of nod and say that they can take care of it, as you guys have done most of the heavy lifting.
Literally.
Literally. Let's see. I'm looking for something specific at the moment. Can't find it. But looking around, it doesn't seem that there's much of a panic at the moment. The people who have kind of been wandering around have been helping where they can. That just seemed like the most prevalent area where you saw that large amount of destruction and people actually requesting help.
All right, Elwood, let's bring this little merry band back and get them some rooms to sleep in, some beds to lay in. About damn near popped a disc.
head back. Elwood grabs the 2 children and puts them on his shoulder.
Okay.
Not like sitting on his shoulder, like
Yes.
like sacks of flour.
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure you understood.
They crying as you do such thing, as Traston leads the harem of people back to the temple to provide assistance and guidance of what they should do next, at least give them a safe place to stay for the time being.
Just you hear Elwood grumble under his breath, man, that rogue with the silence thing would be really nice right now.
Agreed.
After some time, you guys make it back. Emery kind of spots you from the temple entrance and sees you leading a pretty large group of people. He can tell from that distance that they're pretty beaten. They weren't as lucky. And he just kind of starts having you guys kind of shuffle them in and setting them up in kind of a rescue recovery area. Basically where the children sat down to eat their meals, since that's the largest room that they have at the moment. Just kind of giving them a little bit of food and water, just kind of get them back on their feet, make sure that everything's okay and nothing's mentally or physically wrong with them.
While they're going through the motions and getting themselves settled in, I'm going to pull Emery aside and point out the 2 half-elves and just go, "Can you do me a huge favor?"
What may that be?
Those 2 right there. I am beyond exhausted. Been a little bit of a journey this past multiple hours. Could you find out their folks' names, their parents' names, and we'll get something for them. They lost them today.
He just kind of nods and I'll do my best. It may take a little bit of time to get them to open up and, you know, how it is.
Yeah.
But we'll do our best and give them a proper burial.
Appreciate you. I hug them and start heading back, like muttering under my breath, like, "Morden's fire, we're gonna build a freaking statue for them." Start heading back towards my old cot.
Okay. So. As you make your way back, it's probably only been an hour. It didn't take you too long to dig them out and lead them back to a sense of safety. So you guys, well, Traston at least, goes to his cot, tries to lay down, take some kind of rest, and Elred, what are you doing?
I'm gonna go and find some much needed rest.
Okay. Following Traston, you make your way back to the room where you guys basically took your last rest. And pick a cot and essentially lay down for the time being. A couple hours later, Jacob, Anna, you guys kind of wake up from your trance. Haven't seen nor heard from Traston. You see Neptune kind of passed out in the corner next to you as well.
Did we get a long rest?
Yeah, trances count as long rests. So it's been about 4 hours, so it's about 11-ish your time. So, is there anything you guys would like to do?
Are the kids with them? Like, as they make it back to the temple?
You did not see them. You don't know the kids exist.
Right, that's why I was saying, does she see them?
You're currently in the forge, so the only thing you see is a couple of the forge tenders just in the room, kind of doing the same thing.
Wait, I'm
Traston
not
was.
in the forge. I said I went out of the forge. I never went back into the forge. I went out into the main room of the temple and then sat up against the wall in trance.
You guys all went into the forge to discuss with Traston on the next steps. And then you guys...
Oh, I thought Traston came out to us.
No. Because Elred and Traston were still doing their armor polishing and weapon sharpening.
I mean, Anna's gonna walk out into the main room of the temple, I guess.
Okay. So, Jacob, or you see Anna kind of make her way to the front entrance, so to speak. Do you follow her?
I'm gonna walk out of the forge. I'm gonna put my hood up.
Okay.
I'm gonna head towards the mansion. I want to check out to see maybe I can figure out what caused the explosion or what it was.
Okay. So, Anna, what are you doing specifically?
She's walking out into the main room to see who's there.
Okay. As you walk out, you see Emery. I was about to say Tokax. Too many children. I get them confused. You see Emery kind of kneeled down with these two half-elf children, just kind of trying to console them and essentially get some information out of them to try to figure out. You overhear him say, what were your parents like? What were your parents' names? Just trying to figure out some details about the kids.
Anna's gonna walk over and say, are any of you named William?
They just both shake their head no.
What happened to their parents?
According to Traston, he kind of looks back at the kids real quick and then kind of stands up and walks away a little bit. Kind of whispers in your ear. They were crushed by some debris from the explosion earlier.
What are we gonna do with them? Leave them in Emery's care?
I am Emery.
Oh, I thought you said... I didn't hear that part. I was like, why is he speaking for Traston? I was so confused. Anyways. Well, Emery, are we going to be able to leave them in your care?
I can take care of them for now. Obviously, I'm not going to leave a couple of orphans on the road to fend on their own devices. We can take care of them here.
Do you need any compensation for taking care of them?
What you gave previous should be fine.
Good. Anna's gonna walk over to Traston and... Who went with Traston? Was it Elred?
They're both passed out.
Alright, she's just gonna kind of walk over and sit down next to them and kind of go back into a trance because she's still tired.
Okay. And Jacob, seeing as how you walked through this city before, you kind of know your way to sneakily get up to the mansion from where you entered the last time. The only difference is this time you see no security. You see no guards. You don't see anyone guarding anything. You don't even see the corpses of what would have been guards being that close to the explosion. As you make your way up, there's a pretty large crater where the mansion once stood. Smoke still kinda billowing out, making it a little bit difficult to see. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
21.
21.
21.
So, looking deep into this crater. Crater's about 30 now. 100, 200 feet deep. It's hard to tell, but the slant just kind of gives you that incline based off of how far it's gone down and what you can see initially. As the wind kind of picks up a little bit and starts to wisp away some of that residue, fog, smog, smoke, you start to see what looks like a rock that's extremely large. It's probably 200-300 feet in diameter, just laying in the middle of this crater.
I kind of want to try to slide down towards the rock to see if I can get closer to see if I can tell what it is.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an acrobatics check.
27.
27. Okay. So, as you start to slide down, the wind picking up almost into a violent sandstorm. Knowing that the desert is north of here, you start to see flecks of sand start to roll into the city. It's not just this one spot. As you get closer and closer to this, what looks like a meteorite that's almost come out of nowhere. Like, no one could have anticipated or expected this to happen. At least not by normal means. As you get closer to the rock itself, it has a very strong emanating aura of just, it feels like rage, anguish, like you feel the pressure. It's almost magical in nature based off of what little you would know about magic.
Mm-hmm.
It's very concerning to you. You've never felt a presence this strong in a rock, let alone a rock this large.
Jacob's gonna reach out and try to touch it to feel the material on it and stuff. See what it feels like.
You just kind of put your hand on it. It lets off this very almost translucent dust that just kind of flakes off as it just kind of flutters away into powder in the unusually strong wind. As it doesn't how do I put this? It doesn't feel like a normal rock. It almost feels manufactured by some kind of magical means, if you had a guess.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna try to scrape off some of the powder, put it into my pocket if I can.
Okay. Go ahead and give me nature check. Actually, Arcana check.
Ooh. A
I would say
12.
nature. You manage to get a little bit. Comes off almost as just by touching it. It doesn't seem to have any rigidity to it at all. Almost like dust that's maintaining a shape. You get about 2-3 ounces. Kind of shovel it into your bag.
And then he's gonna look around. Is there anything else in the crater that looks interesting other than the little meteor?
Seems to be completely barren. You can't even see traces of where the mansion was, as this meteor just has completely obliterated this one spot.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna go head back to the temple now.
Okay.
Maybe to let someone know what he found.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check on your way back.
Oh, it's an 8.
That's fine. Easily enough. Actually, give me with advantage. Because there's a reason.
Oh, that's a 22.
Okay. As you're kind of making your way back, you notice on the 3rd floor, you see a man. He's almost unforgettable just by his weird appearance. He's got a scar on his head that kind of goes down up into his face a little bit. And you can see him kind of yelling at a couple of individuals. Seem to be wearing just black robes. Just saying, "Get that shit into the court. We've got to get out of here." As you see him talk, you see his 2 canines are what look to be platinum. They kind of have a sheen to them as they kind of glisten off of the sunlight.
Does he look familiar to me?
To you, he does not.
Is he wearing any... From what I can see, is he wearing any symbols of the 9?
You can't see anything on him, no.
Okay. I'm gonna put my hood back up, go invisible, to see if I can get closer to him.
Okay. As you start to make your way a little bit closer, it looks like they have just begun to finish their packing onto this cart. It seems to be like one of those old Conestoga wagons with the cloth wrapping on the outside, as the 2 cloaked individuals hop up into the basically driver's seat, and he hops into the back as they start to head down to the 2nd and then 1st layer. But as they go by, you catch a glimpse, and on his essentially what looks to be like a breastplate or a leather, it's hard to tell from the distance, but you can see the symbol of the 9 inscribed on his shoulder piece.
Jacob's gonna try to jump onto the cart, but not alerting them.
They are moving at a very fast pace. They have got these horses in full gear. As he drove by is when you noticed it. So to catch up to them, you'd have to be moving probably 80, 90 feet a second.
Only 30 more feet, I could have done it.
But you can dash 100 feet.
Yes, but then he's got to grab a cart while he's running.
I know, I'm just giving him crap.
Can I tell
He
which
can
way
move
they...
faster than me.
Other than heading towards the 2nd level, do I know which way they're gonna go? Can I tell?
You can only assume that they're making their way out of town. At the pace and urgency that they're moving, they don't want to be here.
Yeah.
So, at this point, it's probably been about 7 hours since Traston and Elrid lay down for their rest. Neptune, you're probably up moving around. But,
Yep.
Jacob, is there anything else you would like to do while you're doing your investigation?
No.
Okay. So, I assume you're making your way back to the temple?
Yes.
Okay. Takes you a little bit of time, but you managed to get back to the temple. I assume Elred and Traston, after your rest, you guys kind of wake up and make your way to the foyer of the temple.
Traston is sleeping in at least like another hour or two. He is
Okay.
beat.
Okay.
Elward will probably wake up and
Okay.
go down.
Okay. So, Elred wakes up, makes his way into the foyer. Neptune, you've been up for a little bit. Is there anything you want to do?
Not in particular, just walking around.
Okay. As you make your way out
Seeing
to the
how
foyer,
the city seems.
it seems to be relatively calm by the time you wake up. You don't hear the franticness of the city folk, as most of them have either been rescued or determined dead. But Neptune, Anna, Elrid, I assume, Jacob, you've taken your hood down.
Yes.
Okay. You see Jacob make his way in to the foyer. It's probably been about 8 hours since Traston's been to sleep. If he would like to get up now, up to him. If he wants to sleep in, he can sleep in.
Yeah, sleeping in for
Okay.
the at least 9-10 long rest plus.
Okay. So, the floor is yours, Jacob. You see Anna, Neptune, and Elrid just kind of waiting around. You don't see Traston in sight. You can probably only assume that he is still conked out.
Jacob walks over to Anna and Neptune and Elrid. I went to investigate what caused the explosion yesterday. Looked like a meteorite. Didn't seem like a normal one. But I'm not too sure. He kind of pulls out the dust for them to look at. If any of them are good with magic.
Trying to think.
Anna might be.
Anna is aware of vampiric. Neptune, give me a history check with advantage.
Okay. I didn't realize it, but you said history check?
History check.
Oh, I was looking at religion. I don't know why. 17. I'm actually proficient in religion.
Point advantage.
So, Neptune, based off of the description that Jacob provided you, something similar to this has happened from your time.
From my time.
Yes. You
Okay.
heard of stories where a meteorite had essentially fallen without any rhyme, reason, or really much concern, and it fell again on a important building. You can't recall the name of the city at the time, but it's actually what led you to look for information, because it was such an unusual occurrence and you had assumed that something had to have caused it, because meteors just don't fall on a set location, a highly populated location, that frequently.
So it was almost deliberate.
Seems like it. So. Anything else you guys would like to talk about?
Jacob,
Well, you
So,
Yep.
Did Neptune relay that information?
did it.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would relay it back.
Interesting. I thought this shady man was just bringing in drugs for everyone. He brought the bag of dust in.
Anyways, I don't think that's the important part. I saw a man. He was bald with a scar on the back of his head. He had 2 canines with him. I think they were platinum?
His teeth. His canine
Oh, his teeth. Oh, his canine
biters.
teeth. Oh, I thought you meant like dogs.
No doggies.
His canines were platinum. Wolford.
Yes.
So his 2 teeth are platinum.
He had a symbol of a 9 on his breastplate. He
Motherfucker.
looked like he was in a hurry to get out of here.
Motherfucker. I'm
So
asleep.
who would that be? I wonder.
I'm asleep.
It doesn't
It looks
sound
like-
familiar to me. But if he has the symbol, you said he had the symbol of the 9?
Yes.
Where are we talking at? Just in the courtyard, right?
In the foyer.
In the
of
foyer.
In the
Yep.
foyer. Okay. Well, I have no idea who the person is.
We'll say if Traston would like to wake up mid-conversation to this and hear it echoing down the hallway, he can.
Runs out in his whitey tidies.
What did you say?
Yeah, Elwood would like that.
Mark.
Do what?
I would love to, but Traston is sleeping until
Okay.
at least an hour. He doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
Okay. That's perfectly fine. Okay. So, I assume you guys just kind of chill, relax after gaining all this new information, deciding what to do next, since you're still waiting for Traston to make an appearance. It's probably been 12 hours now since Traston has taken the deep slumber, making it about 9 p.m. Sun's gone down. Everything seems to have reverted from its chaotic nature. Wind seems to be picking up. Awaken. Awaken. So, Traston, you wake up and you make your way into the foyer, trying to figure out where everybody else is, as they've kind of just been wandering about.
Good. Traston, you're here.
Get my armor from the forge first and strap it on.
Yep.
'Cause I
Make
never
your way to the
really-
forge, grab your shit, put it on, make your way back to the group, fully geared and well rested.
Well, Traston, nothing interesting really happened.
Do you know of a person of the 9 that has platinum canine teeth?
I'm gonna
You
need
cut-
to repeat the fuck out of that right now.
A member of the 9 that has platinum canine teeth.
He has a scar on the back of his head too.
Where, when, now, where, tell.
How long ago was that, Daryl?
No.
That would have been about 5 or 6 hours ago.
6
By this
hours
point.
ago. I was up by the mansion. They were getting on a cart and they were heading out.
Where are they
Did
heading?
they leave town?
I would assume.
Which direction? North, south, east, west?
Catty corner. Catty corner.
You
the other
couldn't
way.
keep up.
We-
Judging you were on the 3rd floor by the time that they made it out, they were probably out of town by the time you made it back to the temple.
I don't know for sure where they went. By the time I got back here, they were probably already out of town.
Did you check tracks at all while you were out?
It's a cobblestone road. There really aren't tracks, and they're used to
Well, I
wagon.
didn't know. Well, I
I'm
didn't
just
know
saying.
if it would go outside of town. I don't know how while the cobblestone goes out. You said it was a desert out there, right?
There's a desert to the north.
They didn't head that way though. That
We
he
don't
knows of. I guess we could go out and start looking at tracks.
Why are you so interested in that man?
I don't know. Traston, are you interested?
Yes. But if it means we have to leave now, fuck.
So who is this
I say we
individual?
stay here. We don't even know that there's any reason to follow the van.
Why not remember?
Right now, I'd walk out and follow him, but
I've seen the same look on his face as I saw when I saw someone else I deeply hated. Something is eating away at him, and we should at least hear him out, and if he wants to talk about it.
Maybe we should do that next week.
I'll say his name is Malice, and he is, as his namesake might suggest, well, though, it's a different spelling, but he embodies that spirit. And he is without a doubt one of the most vile creatures to walk this plane. And what I can tell, he's pretty damn high up with the Fourth. If
Would
not,
you say he's Cidolfus' right-hand man?
if anything, I'd say Cidolfus is his right-hand man. I'm not entirely sure how their hierarchy works, but he was pretty fucking important.
And so, with that information, Traston recovering some information about someone he's after, so to speak.
The
We will
list of people
continue
who
this.
die increases by 1.
Yes, we will continue this next week. Again, the music here is brought to you by tabletopaudio.com. Copyright-free music, great to listen to. Go ahead and check it out. If you guys would like to follow, you can follow us on YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. A lot of our older videos are posted on YouTube. We've had some problems uploading them the last couple weeks, but we plan on getting those uploaded here hopefully soon. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
See ya.
I
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.